Well, I'm joined by Minister of the Infrastructure, Ray Harmer, a busy man. We've got maybe a couple of sections, but obviously we can do the airport and we can do the sea situation. So let's do the airport.
Yes.
Finally, we're going to get a new system in. We were hoping, by the way, to record this down there, but it's security wouldn't allow us. But maybe you can inform us how it's going, because it has obviously been this ongoing saga about delays at certain times of the day.
Well, actually, it's taken a long time to plan. We've actually started this work from October, and we're now actually in the, if you like, the actually making it happen phase, and particularly with regard to the overall structure and the layout, that's happening right now. So it's a combination of a long piece of work.
Was it really the right way to go about it? I mean, Travel Watch said it was sort of, not necessarily good use of money, almost.
Well, I see it very, very differently, because effectively what we're doing is we want to be a place of excellence, really, and the first entry point, as we've said, we know with the prom, is the airport, and both arriving and leaving, and it needs to be something that is one of the highest standards. So that's what we're trying to achieve. So it's not a case of just business as usual, a case of just doing what we've done before. It's about trying to achieve a much better experience for everyone.
So when will this be ready to rumble? Well,
the first, you'll see it in parts, because that's the nature of the project. But you'll see that, as I say, the layout is changing right now. So that should be complete by the end of TT. After TT, we then got
so it won't make TT then. There's all these changes.
The layout, no.
So there's going to be massive pressure still on people trying to get away.
Well, hopefully in TT we normally have two scanners operating anyway.
Oh, you do?
And certain. But the problem is, you see, it's getting those staff all year round, and the problem is you actually, to have those teams, you have to recruit. And despite what other people have said, it actually takes a long time, not only in terms of recruitment, in terms of training, in terms of security checks. Everything is a lot more tighter. So I think, people might be saying, it's a couple of weeks. It actually can take nearly half a year to do this recruitment process.
And you think it's good use of money anyway?
Absolutely, it is good use of money. We want to give the absolute best impression we can of the island, and actually the experience of the airport is really fundamental to that.
Well, there's been talk of more airlines pulling out of the Isle of Man route. Eastern are dropping their Belfast, aren't they? But, we've got hearing now maybe that Blackpool might come back on.
Well, I think, it's always an organic picture. That's the thing, difference with airlines. And as a general trend, things are going into bigger planes. Some of the eastern planes, smaller planes are being brought out of, taken out of service. Whereas you get other providers, as I say, like EasyJet and Flybe, that are filling those spaces. It is always going to be a moving picture. But last year was a record year. And and obviously, it's still a very, very busy airport.
A record for people leaving the Isle of Man, wasn't it? I mean, but anyway, are you comfortable with the open skies? Still?
Yes, because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what open skies is and isn't, and what licensing would do. Actually, a lot of the comments around licensing, people are talking about licensing, but they're really talking about having public service obligation routes where the government goes in and funds routes. It's not about, if anything, the licensing regime can actually add more layers of complexity, more layers of bureaucracy. Actually, when routes change, it's the fact that we have schemes, route development schemes, yield development schemes, means that we can bring in airlines much quicker than if we added just more bureaucracy. Having said that, we are obliged to bring in, as a backup, regulation and law, which we are committed to do.
But you don't want open seas?
Well, open seas is, the sea service fundamentally is a lifeline for the island, particularly more so on freight than on passengers. If the boat doesn't arrive, then for 2 or 3 days, then we all see the emptiness in the supermarkets, which has happened previously. So having a secure lifeline link is absolutely fundamental.
And your opinion? I mean, obviously you're going along with this. I mean, the idea of buying the steam packet.
Well, no, we've been involved right from the start. I've been involved right from the start. This is a policy, and in fact, in many creating the reports and so forth about strategic control, about having the best deal for the island, and actually what we're doing right now is really good news. It really says, you know, it's an investment. It's an investment in the Isle of Man, and will provide an excellent, not only an excellent return, but what people have got to remember, and it's fundamental to me, it's an arm's length company. It won't mean, if you like, dramatic changes in fares and so forth. It is about retaining strategic control of a vital lifeline.
You're buying back your user agreement, basically.
No. All companies are based on valuation, is based on cash flow. So, for example, you know, depending on what the predicted cash flow and all those other things, and we've removed bits for pensions and so forth, that's essentially what we're buying, as you would with any company. So it's a valuation a fair valuation based on cash flow.
And the arm's length thing, that's also important, rather than just nationalisation and run it.
To be honest, I was very strong on this and put a red line. It cannot be. There is absolutely no way this is going to be a government, you know, department or anything like that. You know, I was not prepared to even countenance that, and certainly would have, you know, prevented that from happening. An arm's length company is absolutely right. It has to remain commercial, because it won't produce those cash flows and profits if we have a call to say have a 10 o'clock sailing, have special seats for certain dignitaries and things like that. It must absolutely, or what cakes are in the cafe. It must be an arm's length commercial operation.
Any feelings on Tuesday's vote on this? Do you feel it's a done deal?
It is, because we put, if you like, very much clear markers down in July when I when I said we couldn't support the user agreement proposal, which the previous administration had promised. It wasn't something that we had wanted to brought forward, but we, you know, in essence, having that strategic control, having, if you like, investing in what is essentially a very good asset for the Isle of Man, and important for the Isle of Man. It's a lifeline. It absolutely makes sense, and I think members will support it. What, you know, pretty much everybody will support it.
And you got the money.
We've got money, and remember, it's an investment. So, like any, if you invest we invest, you know, in other items across the world. Why not invest in the Isle of Man?
When's it going to be done by? I mean, does it run out soon? I mean, you know, obviously the user agreement has still got years to run, so you're going to buy them out, and that's it.
Effectively, it'll be transacted within a week, and from then we will then start working on the user agreement, on the shareholder agreement with the new company. So in many ways, it's business as usual. You know, I've met with a number of people, met with the unions and yesterday, and it's very much, you know, the management, everything is exactly as it is. We're buying a very, very good company. If you've seen some of the reports, the due diligence that's been on the ships and so forth, they are in good conditions. There's spares. It has been run well. There was never ever an issue with the local company. We believe in the local company, which is why we're buying it.
The public aren't going to see massive fare reductions, because you need this thing to make money, right? So you're paying back.
Absolutely,
the loan.
And I mean, there might be subtle differences. You know, which rate of inflation rate you use. You know, we can move on cost, but actually, if there's going to be fare reductions, you're going to kill the company. It has to be commercial. But making it arm's length will give us that strategic control, and that's what it's about. You know, when you've got companies with distressed debts and loan companies and bad debt companies, basically, fundamentally controlling your lifeline, then you have to act, and that's what we've done. It's very decisive, and you know, it's a really good deal for the Isle of Man.